Hello, everyone. Welcome to our art journaling session today, June 21st. And our prompt is staying soft when certainty fades. So, my teacher Nitya, I've heard this from him so many times, and it always amazes me. He says, don't worry, nothing is under control. So, don't worry, nothing is under control, which is the most amazing way of saying we don't really, control anything. The illusion that we do that keeps us stuck, the illusion that things should be this way, that way, any particular way. And when they don't go that way, then we close up or we feel betrayed or we feel there's something very heavy is sitting on our heart. So all these heavy feelings come because in the first place, our expectation is that we have planned things a certain way and they should go that way. And when they don't, it feels heavy, it feels uncertain, it feels like we have been abandoned or something, or the universe is not, listening to us, or lots of heavy things. We can have multiple stories around that when what we wanted to happen, what we planned for to happen, didn't happen. And today we are just going to let that question hang and go right into that feeling stage where we are feeling a certain way. Things may have happened in your personal life, professional life, with your friends, with your kids, with your own, any of the things that you wanted to achieve. Say, for example, almost half the year is gone and you had certain plans and you're not there yet. And so how does that sit with us? How does any uncertain situation also, a loved one's um you know diagnosis with some kind of ailment that they have to go through, and if you're a caregiver, like there are multiple things where we time and again see that things happen and they are outside of circle of control, and then that sits heavy and we close up the sometimes we, like they say in love, people who have loved people and then they've lost them, they become close. They're like, no, I don't want to have another pet, I don't want to open myself up to another relationship, right? Because I don't want to go through that hurt. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what happens, because you can't control a lot of things in the here and now. If you have the opportunity to do something, to love someone, to have a pet, to be able to do what your heart desires, then it flows. If we restrain ourselves with the fear that we don't want to feel a certain way if things go wrong, well, guess what? We are already feeling that way. We are already burdening ourselves with that. So, as is my thing, I'm going to just say, if you have a pen and paper, I invite you to simply draw a circle, just one circle, and then I want you to feel what is that one word that feels important to you right now. Any word that's coming to your mind is okay. We're trying to not think, we are just trying to feel. Like if you want to, for example, I think for me, held is coming. I am held, like say by the universe, by the planet, by my loved ones. So if I am feeling heavy, I know that I'm not going to continue to fall down. So held is the word that just came to me. So it can be any word. So I invite you to write it down on a piece of paper in a circle, and then you're just going to write any word that is coming. The word could be connection, the word could be trust, trust your path, trust the process. So just a simple circle, draw a simple circle without thinking too much, just write one word that's coming to you. And then when we are done with that, we'll do a minute of breathing here, and just put your hand on that word in that circle, touching that word. And then I invite you to just breathe that word in. You're welcome to share the word in the chat if you like. So my word is held. I feel like I'm held. I'm in the palm and I'm being held, I'm being supported. Let's just feel this. Yep. Whatever your word is just the right word. And let's fully feeling is very healing. So let's just feel this. Just feel your word. Take a few more deep breaths. First up, we made a circle, and we wrote one word that's coming to our mind in this moment as we breathe. And that's the word we are fully breathing in. Deep breaths. Yeah, your word could be anything that's coming to you. Fully feel this. You can touch the word on the circle. That gives a physical anchor to fully feeling. And then anchor it to our breath. So now, very quickly, I'm going to share my screen now. So now that we are, don't know if, what is it going to show? So bear, okay. Don't want my phone. All right. If you have pen and paper, pencil and paper, anything is fine. So first we are going to make a permission slip today. When you are done with the feeling the word, let's come right on the paper and try to make a rectangle. Okay? Any rectangle, you don't need to have a particular thing. Let's make it like a notice board, like a circular on the notice board. And the name is permission slip. So as the name says, this is a permission slip. And now what is it that you want to give yourself permission to today? Right? Just think of what is it that I want to allow myself to do. So I begin writing. So I'll write I, Shubhra, give myself permission to, and I'm going to start music and let's see what flows. Say maybe 4 things, 3 things, whatever is coming to your mind. Okay? No right and wrongs. Let's just continue. You can also write it in the chat if you like. So give yourself permission. And once again, let's not go into thinking mode. Let's just see whatever is coming. Okay? Let's have some music now. Okay. To see where you are, but for now we're done with this activity. So what we did was, so I wrote, Shubhra, give myself permission to fully feel, rest before I get exhausted, feel two things at once. Sometimes about one situation, we know that we should feel a certain way, and yet we can see that we are actually feeling differently, right? So don't have that pressure of this is the right way to feel about the situation, and I should feel that way and put that pressure on yourself, like, oh, it's not a big deal. No, if you're feeling it is a big deal right now, then it is a big deal right now. So feel two things at once is completely fine. I give myself permission to be soft. You can be any which way that you want to be. Just because somebody else is behaving in a certain way, you do you, we do we feel something, and we, you know, communicate the feelings truthfully yet softly. Often what happens is, I'm going to be honest, is usually I'm going to be rude. So let's invite ourselves, let's allow and permit ourselves to be able to communicate in the moment, not after we have mulled over it and, you know, made 10,000 stories about it and gone into, you know, all possible permutations and combinations about a situation. And then when our, like, we're full up to the brim and we then want to communicate, usually the result is that I'm being honest right now becomes I'm being also, you know, rude right now, maybe unreasonable right now, maybe also bringing past things into the present moment. So let's allow ourselves to not feel that way. They say that if a deer, for example, was being chased by in the jungle, right, say by a tiger or something, and they are really running for their life and they are feeling extremely like that's extreme trauma situation. But suppose that didn't happen. The tiger didn't get the deer, and the deer was able to escape. It shakes itself violently for some time because it's just processing all that emotion. And once it's done, then that's it. It comes back to its normal state of, you know, just roaming around in the meadows and then just being with the herd. And so, but what happens with human beings is, because we also have so much story around everything that happened, we replay in our mind, we tell it to our friends and family, or we just keep thinking about it, or we connect the dots from past and say, okay, this happened and that time that has happened and that has, so it we just make a chain out of a simple thing that triggered something. Things can trigger, and we allow ourselves to feel that fully. We allow ourselves to communicate the feelings truthfully yet softly. And we allow ourselves to also take things either personally or not take them personally. But the key is that we allow ourselves to be in the moment, fully aware, and resolve it then and there. I am feeling this way, I'm feeling heavy, or I'm feeling whatever. You can journal it out. These are the activities that you say, allow yourself, give a permission slip. When you put something, you know, we use your hands to also, your eyes, your hands, so whatever senses we use to process things, we are able to do justice to the whole, you know, we don't get stuck into the thinking process. Usually the thing is we know a lot and then we say this is the right way to behave. But what if I don't want to feel that way right now? So we allow ourselves, we permit ourselves to, you know, do that. All right, I hope you liked it. I'm just going to quickly share my screen again and we do one more thing. Let's see if time permits, maybe more. And so now if you have this paper, I'm going to try to draw a tree which is in a storm. Okay. So just think of a tree and root, leave some space for roots. So we are going to make a lot of roots. You can see mine. Okay. And so if this tree is swaying and swaying, just basically draw a tree which is completely on one side, swayed on one side, okay? As if it's storm. And then when you come down, okay, then try to make the roots, even if say this is the ground and you won't be able to see so many roots, but underground also, there is a whole complicated root system. So keep making, I mean, you can just watch and then make, but keep making very, very complicated roots. So this is a tree. We can add the leaves if we want to. This is a tree where it's in a storm. Okay. And in the storm, it is swaying like anything. Oh, I don't know why I came out of that. But basically, we're drawing a tree in a storm which has the roots. And we can title it, the main point is what roots me, what roots me when everything sways. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen again because it came out. Okay. So you can just say, what roots me when everything sways? So you can make a complicated root system. And while we're doing this, I'll start music. And once we are done, what we are going to do is you're going to list what roots you, right? Whatever roots you is what we are going to mention. There is a storm, there are winds, things are swaying, and yet this tree is so deeply rooted. It's being, as I said, my word for the circle was, it's being held by the ground, it's being held by the mother earth. And in so doing, the tree is swayed, but it's not going to break. So, what are the things in our lives, right? When the storm comes, and you can think of, say, write the words, um, definitely family, then friends, you know, faith, trust, truth. Could be anything that is coming to you. I just, whatever I. So you can make the tree with leaves as well, but it's swaying on one side completely by the winds. I don't know why this keeps happening, but let me try sharing one more time. Okay, so this is being, these are, I'm just conveying that there are winds here, and this is swaying. If you want, you can make these. So I'm going to start another song, and let's take a minute to do this. Some things are falling apart, some leaves are flying. Obviously, there's a storm, you know, the whole stem is bending. Yet the tree is firmly rooted. What is rooting for you? Yeah. So you can continue making it. I just want to say that another thing that we can take from this exercise is if the tree was very stiff, very, very stiff, it wasn't swaying at all, chances are the wind will break it, right? But the tree, the branches are staying soft and they're moving with the wind. Whatever the wind direction is, they're moving there. And yet, because they are firmly rooted and they are flexible enough that they are moving in the direction the wind is taking them, right? Without completely losing their grip on the ground. Chances are the storm will pass, the weather will get better, and everything that was swaying will come back to a stillness. So we can touch that stillness in us when we remain rooted yet flexible, when we remain soft. If we are very stiff, if we are very hard, we can break. Like some of the branches do break, some of the old trees or some of the very, dry trees break easily. But the trees which are swaying, chances are they will make it. So that's another thing to take from here. Soft does not mean weak, right? Softness is not, hardness is not like some kind of, you know, a jewel to have. Being soft doesn't mean that you're weak, right? So being open doesn't mean that you are unprotected, right? So just say, maybe I'm going to write like, so I can say, I can stay tender yet survive the storm, right? I'm just writing that on my art. Whatever is coming to you, feel free to share in the chat. And so write your own mantra. So mine was, I can stay tender yet survive the storm. Okay. So that's another thing that we can always, get back to or remember. And then last thing for today before we discuss something is, let me share one more time and let's draw a heart. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing that we do in Do Any Which Way. I'm going to just draw a very loose heart. Okay. Fully keep feeling. What is the weather of my heart right now? How does my heart feel? Okay. So let's just, simply feel the heart fully. You can admire my rings. I just say, just feel fully, completely think about how am I feeling. And this heart is obviously, made on a piece of paper, just by a knife. And here, you can just feel. So it's so feel like the feeling completely fun right now. So feel divided. Let's divide the house. For the sake of our exercise, let's all divide them. So just like we did with the roots, taking that forward, one side could be the storm side, and the other side could be the shelter side. Okay. So what side is storm? The side is shelter. What are we going to do for the storm? We are not going to name it right now. We are going to just fully feel it. So just like, scribble it out, just make something. Think of anything that is heavy. Or don't even think, just feel if something is heavy. Right? No words needed. Just scribble it out. If you feel like writing words, of course, you're welcome to write words. There's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way to do this. Get instinct writing. So the storm, you're on the storm side right now. anything was sitting heavy in the last 3 days, 2 days, one day, today, anything at all. Let it be here on this paper. Let it come out through the medium of my hand onto my paper. That's the weather of my heart. That's the storm in my heart right now. And I give myself permission to put my storm on my paper on this side of me. Yeah, sit with it. If you were to use colors, you're welcome to use any colors that you not going into color theory and significance, just whatever color intuitively. This is the storm side, and we do it with feeling, knowing that how's the rest? Give yourself permission, give yourself a minute to be here now and just put down whatever feels heavy. May this pen be the bearers, whatever is feeling heavy, and just you put it down right. Even if it's overspilling out of the heart right now. Sometimes we overspill. And tears are okay. So it's okay with the storm too. So now, if you've done it, we'll start the music again and we'll start doing something on the shelter side. I invite you to think when things are not just feeling right, what's your first go to? And whatever came to your mind is perfectly fine. So, first thing that you would do when things are heavy, when things are just not feeling, you're not in flow, let's just say that. What do you do? Maybe call a friend, maybe call your um, parents, kids, partner, maybe have a cup of tea, maybe just go for a spa day, maybe just write your gratitude to, get back to what is good. I'm feeling heavy, I'm feeling this, take a purposeful action of writing it down in a journal. Maybe you go for a walk, go for a run, do yoga, do meditation, read a book, read some teachings, listen to chanting. What are the do art? You know, go see the sunrise, sunset, whatever it is that you do. So I invite you now with the music starting. I invite you, and we don't have to necessarily fill anything. Whatever is right now feeling like shelter, I just invite you to write that or draw it out. Okay, on the shelter side. So let's go. You can draw or write the words. So I made a cup here. I wrote the tea cup is journaling, nature. I like my dog, so I like to cuddle with him or just just more than sometimes. It just grounds me somehow. So it can be your unique way of how you find the shelter. If you want to name your storm, you're welcome to do that as well, whatever feels right. And the thing I wrote under that is both can coexist. There is a storm, yet you are aware of the shelter. The shelter is not taking the storm away, but it definitely reduces the intensity of how you are feeling. Okay, so here we are, 9:45. Um, the takeaway from the storm and shelter is situations can coexist. The only thing that changes when we do these kind of activities is how we feel about them. What's our intensity of feeling around everything, and how we allow your heart, our heart to be porous so that things move through it and they don't get stuck and they don't become heavy. They just flow through us. We feel it fully. We started today with giving ourselves the permission, whatever you chose, to give yourself permission to fully feel and, be soft, and things happen, and knowing that. relax, nothing is under control, which it certainly never is. There is a small area of action that we can always take ourselves, and outside of it, anything and everything that happens, situations, reactions are always something that is beyond our control. And we go back to our roots in any storm. We go back to what keeps us grounded. When things are swaying, we are flexible, we are soft, we flow with it, and yet we are rooted. So we are not, taken apart and broken. And if we are feeling like a storm in our heart, both things can coexist. There, I mean, we today, what we did is not coming from a knowledge perspective, from a I have read so many books and I know that this is the right way to behave, and so that's how I will behave. We came from a point of what I am feeling right now. I acknowledge it, I accept it, and I process it. And in so doing, I give myself permission to seek shelter with whatever it is that keeps me grounded, helps me breathe, and helps me move through it. So that was our session. Thank you so much for attending. And I would appreciate if any of you wants to share something. Hey, Anamika.
I shared a picture of my heart in the group, in the WhatsApp group.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So how did you feel?
So you said colors, so and I went berserk. I just had my colors here, and only thing I had the wrong brush. That's why the strokes I couldn't get anything better. Yeah, so as you see, there are darker colors on the left hand side, but somehow I was also called to put in splashes of the brighter colors, the yellow and a little bit of that. That
Mhm.
even in bleak times, there are those moments of hope or those glimmers, as we say
Silver
sometimes,
lining.
right?
Yep.
Right.
This you're
Green,
breaking up a
bright
bit, but
green.
I got what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. There is a silver linings. I would love to see that. Yeah, I'll see that in the group. Thank you for sharing. Your video got stopped, so I couldn't hear you, but thank you for sharing, Anamika. All right. Anybody else wants to share something? You can unmute and tell me.
Can I share, so Shubham?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. I did not use any colors, but this whole activity really connected me to my pain. And as had mentioned the word trauma, which came up for me initially.
Yes.
So what I did is, in that circle you asked, like, trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So after connecting, I was intuitively like guided to draw a few more circles just around it. And throughout the activity, I was asking myself, like the way you were asking, what do you do for rooting whenever there's a storm or whenever the situation is not as per your desire and your wish.
Yeah.
So in those circles, I really wrote, what I really need when I'm experiencing such a pain or when I'm experiencing this trauma in my body. So the
Mm-hmm.
words which came up was feel, art, sleep, communicate, be authentic,
Mm-hmm.
validate, breathe, therapy, sit with this pain, journal, admit, and don't run away
Mm-hmm.
from it, and listen. Listen to the story it's saying, telling you. And,
Beautiful.
so,
Beautiful.
and I also,
It's like you got answers about
yeah, so
how to deal
how
with
to
it.
deal with it. Yeah. So, thanks for this activity. Thanks a lot.
You're most welcome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. नीरू जी, you unmuted.
हाँ शुभ्रा, अ, अभी
बताइए।
जैसे जो ये एक्सरसाइज आपने करवाई थी, तो
हम्म।
डेफिनेटली मैं थोड़ा सा आफ्टरनून से थोड़ा केओटिक स्टेट में ही थी, मतलब एक
हम्म।
कॉन्ट्रैक्शन थी हार्ट एरिया में।
हम्म।
तो अ, मतलब मुझे ऐसे लग रहा है कि शायद कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग ट्रेंड हैं आउटवर्ड सीइंग की तरफ, जबकि
हम्म।
अंदर देखना हमें इतना सिखाया नहीं गया करके।
हम्म।
और बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमारे पास होती हैं उस टाइम पे। तो एक चीज़ तो ये भी दिखी, और हर चीज़ को जैसे आपने कहा कि गिव योर सेल्फ परमिशन, तो उसमें
हम्म।
भी मैंने शायद यही लिखा है कि अ, मैं क्या परमिशन दे सकती हूँ अपने आप को कि कई बार कुछ चीज़ों को समझने की ज़रूरत भी नहीं होती है लाइफ में,
हम्म।
और बिना समझे भी काम चलता है। तो शायद मैं अपने आप को वो परमिशन दे पाऊँ कि नो नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग एंड कंक्लूड, जबकि मेरा माइंड मुझे बार बार कह रहा है कि ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, इससे क्या कंक्लूड किया जा रहा है या इससे क्या समझ आ रही है। यही चीज़ें हम लोग रिश्तों में भी समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो कई बार,
हम्म।
और दूसरी चीज़ जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी की बात की है, जब एक अंदर से हमें बड़ी समझ है कि हम तो ठीक ही हैं, और ये चीज़ कहीं ना कहीं हमें हार्ड भी बना देती है, हमें
या।
थोड़ा सा हार्ड बनाती है कि जब हमें बिल्कुल हम अपने हिसाब से जितना जितना ठीक समझते हैं अपने आप को, उतना उतना हम अंदर से हार्ड भी होते जाते हैं। तो
हम्म।
एक अलग तरह का ईगो भी डेवलप होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है। तो जब ये ट्री बना रही थी मैं, और वो
हम्म।
जब आपने कहा कि जो हार्ड है वो टूट सकता है, और जितना भी ब्रांचेस हैं अगर वो फ्लेक्सिबल हैं, तो शायद वो भी मुझे दिख रहा था। जैसे कि हम लोग अपने रिश्तों में कई बार अपने आप को बहुत ज़्यादा ठीक समझ के चलते हैं।
या।
मुझे दिख रहा था अपने आप में कि मैं, क्योंकि ठीक मैं, हो सकता है मैं ठीक भी हूँ, लेकिन हम अपने आप को बहुत ठीक समझते हैं कि
हम्म।
बहुत ठीक है, हम कोई गुंजाइश नहीं छोड़ते उसके अंदर, वो हार्डनेस है। शायद वो चीज़ मुझे आज डायग्राम बनाते बनाते दिखी अपने आप
हम्म।
के अंदर कि अगर फ्लेक्सिबल हैं, और ऑनेस्टी से इस चीज़ को भी देखा है। और दूसरी बात ये कि जब आपने कहा कि क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं आपके पास, आपने जब लिखा कि तूफान आ रहा है और
शेल्टर।
क्या है, तो
हम्म।
रियल मायने में मुझे कुछ ज़्यादा दिखा नहीं अपना उसमें, मतलब ऐसा
हम्म।
कुछ दिखा ही नहीं मुझे, बहुत कुछ ऐसा नहीं दिखा मुझे। उस चीज़ के लिए जोर लगाना पड़ रहा था। फिर मुझे दिखा कि अरे सत्संग है, और सबसे ज़्यादा मुझे ऐसे लगा
हम्म।
कि फिजिकली मैं ठीक हूँ, मुझे कोई बीमारी नहीं है। मतलब पहला
हम्म।
पॉइंट मुझे यही दिखा कि
हेल्थ।
फर्स्ट पॉइंट मतलब यही आया कि अरे मैं तो बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ, मुझे कोई फिजिकल ऐसी बीमारी नहीं है। नहीं तो मैं उसी बीमारी को ही फर्स्ट
हम्म।
चीज़, मतलब मेरी फर्स्ट केओटिक चीज़ मेरी बीमारी होती, लेकिन वो तो
यस।
है ही नहीं, मैं तो बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ। फिर
हम्म।
दूसरा एक ये भी लगा कि जब भी मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है, आपने कहा कि सर्कल के अंदर लिखो कि ट्रस्ट द प्रोसेस। मेरा एक पेट वर्ड है जो मैं कहती हूँ कि तुझे भी तो पता है, मतलब ऑलवेज मुझे नहीं पता मैं किसको कहती हूँ, लेकिन मैं कहती हूँ तुझे नहीं पता, तुझे भी तो कुछ पता ही होगा करके, एंड आई लीव दैट थिंग। तो वो
हम्म।
चीज़ मुझे ऐसे लगी कि कहीं ना कहीं ये सरेंडर की भी बात की जा रही है। तो
यस।
वो चीज़ भी मुझे दिखी कि तुझे नहीं पता, वो भूल जाता है कई कई बार, हमें लगता है मुझे ही पता है, लेकिन फिर वो तुझे नहीं पता वाली चीज़ आज दोबारा से याद आई। और ये चीज़ बहुत सुंदर तरीके से कहा कि दो चीज़ें इकट्ठी भी एग्जिस्ट कर सकती हैं, यानी आपके अंदर तूफान भी चल रहा है और साथ में उसी
हम्म।
तूफान के कोर के बीच में शांति भी हो सकती है। और हमें लगता है कि नहीं, ब्लैक एंड वाइट ही होगा, या तो ये होगा या ये होगा,
हम्म।
लेकिन ये वाली चीज़ भी दिखी है। और बहुत सारी चीज़ें खुद पे भी लगा है कि जो परमिशन स्लिप है उसको थोड़ा सा और लंबा बनाऊंगी मैं अभी।
साइन कर
तो
देना डेट के
हाँ,
साथ।
साइन कर दूंगी, ठीक है। और मैं गाना भी भेजूंगी आपको वो बंगाली में,
बिल्कुल।
ठीक है।
बिल्कुल।
ठीक है,
रूल
ठीक है,
नंबर
ठीक
6।
है। यस।
Take things lightly. Thank you so much for sharing. आपने बहुत, you touched upon everything and summed it up very beautifully. I'm just saying in English, so if somebody is not able to follow what you said really made sense, because in relationships, as you said, we think sometimes that we are right, and then after that, beyond that, in a relationship, it becomes stale. you've accepted that I'm right and this person is this way. But being flexible allows us to not, break that relationship sometimes, to not break that thing. And also, as you said, there's a subtle ego in things when we become very fixated with our ways. And so this is a glimpse into, are we being guided by what is happening, or like being flowing and porous, or are we being guided by our firm beliefs, which are good, but they can still be soft. Like I said, truth can be spoken, communicated, but there can still be softness. It doesn't have to be when you're up to the brim and then only you process things, or you say things, or you communicate things. It can always be a very flowy and flexible thing also. And we come back to it. That's not a natural thing. As you said, we are not, we are not we're outwardly focused. We're not internally focused. We're not processing things from a young age also. Like, how boys are told, okay, don't cry like a girl. There are like multiple things, subtle things, which are in like totally acceptable. But when layers upon layers of that happens, we become a certain way, and then it gets harder. And so go back to roots, go back to now, go back to the circle, go back to the word, and just breathe through it. And as you said, make the permission slip longer, and know that everything coexists. And my word was held. So my word was in that circle was that I'm being held at all times when we are, say, deep in sleep, right? We are being held. Our mind is not thinking at that time if we are in a state of deep sleep, but we are being held. Everything is just as is. And when you open your eyes, you're back to it. And so you can breathe and, sail through it. Thank you so much. Smita, Puneet, you want to add something?
No, this was beautiful, Shubhra. Thank you. I love the permission slip as well. I was giving my, and I was noticing where there's a, like there's a resistance to like write it. This was, so I wrote fail to trust, permission to fail to trust, right? And immediately there's like, should I
Mhm.
write that? And then I was like, oh, good, why there's something there, so write it, right? Why can't I fail also to trust sometimes? Of course I will, right? And so it's okay. So then why am I not giving myself permission to do that? So that was very nice. Just writing some of the others also like puts it, you're kind of thinking about it that yes, I should do this more, or I allow myself to do this more. And just writing it kind of felt like you said, sign it off, like approve it
Yeah.
and say like, seal it like that government office seal or something, like to say,
You
yeah,
are
I'm
your,
doing.
yeah, you're your own authority.
I
Stamp
know.
it. If we had a kid stamp, then yeah, go ahead and stamp it. Even
Yeah,
with
go
smiley
ahead.
face.
Yeah, so that was lovely. Yeah, I think this is great. Like, and you, as you were drawing the heart and you were just like, feeling it, it felt like immediately I could feel that sense of love, right? Like heart is something, as soon as you say those heart or love or like something, like if you're tuned in, you can really touch that space. So that was beautiful. I didn't feel like doing the
Three?
storm shelter, so I just was looking
Oh,
at you do it because I felt like there's an openness right now. There's like not a very heavy feeling. So I thought, let me
yeah.
stay with that. Let me not do this right now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I was like looking at you do it and I was just processing things. Um, yeah, and my word was magic because last couple of days has been very lot of synchronicities and a lot of beautiful things like that. So just staying with that energy of like just wow, there is this, right? And of
Yeah.
course, there's change, there's all kinds of things that keep happening, but just to like we were saying, allow yourself to feel. I was like, allow yourself to feel the even the positive side of it, like
Yeah.
yeah, that it's okay. Sometimes like Neeraj, you're saying like the blocking happens for me. I notice in both places when it's hard, you're like, no, no, everything's okay, right? And then you
Mhm.
don't allow yourself to feel the sadness or whatever. And then there's the flip side when there's joy, also, you're like, oh my God, what if it changes? What if it goes away? And there's that
Nothing
resistance to
lasts.
feel fully the full joy, right? Like, so there's
Yeah.
both places I see that it happens. So, yeah, I'm sitting with that whole thing since a few weeks now to say, how do you open up? How do you open? So, yeah, Even in my permission slip, I wrote open to life, right? Permission to open to life, or yeah, feel everything was the
Feel
other thing.
everything. Feel everything. You can, if you're doing, say, an activity with your child and you want to do that hard thing, you can even use like soft things like, feathers or something soft or cotton, and
Yeah,
make a heart on the thing, and make it porous, make it soft, make it like it
that's
fully
a great
feels, it
idea.
absorbs and it stays. And you can even add, paint drops to it, and then everything just exists. So make a 3D
That's
project
a
out of
great
it.
idea, actually. I
We
think
have
I'll do it with,
limitation here. Yeah, something that I like to
yeah.
do with my students. So
Yeah. No, I think I'll do it with him because I'll do it with my kid because I
yeah,
know that that's a great way to process, right?
yeah,
Especially he's not speaking, so then he's like, I think a lot of things get stored, so it'll be a nice way to like get it
yes,
out there. Yeah.
get it
Thank you.
out. Like, yeah. So that could be a good project. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll do it with him. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Puneet. And then we'll end with that.
Yeah, so my word was like lean in, when
Mm,
you're dealing with something, you're not sure how things are going to turn out or where it's going, you can't really see. So the permission was to trust, right? It will turn out for the best.
mm,
And to hold on to that and to not doubt that, because sometimes that doubt is creeps in back at times. And so to just allow myself like that permission to, yes, like, be certain of that.
mm,
And yeah, and then hearing Smith, I was like, yeah, sometimes doubt does come. But yeah, I think I do want to hold on to certainty more than doubt. That's just
mm.
what originally came to me. And to remain grounded, right? Like sometimes, like when we do things, there's kind of an imposter syndrome. So to remain grounded in your own confidence and, that self assurance that, yes,
Yeah.
like you said, I am this authority, like I'm signing this off, for my life. I'm this person. So that was helpful. And when you said what roots me when things sway, so what came was like being present, focusing on the breath. That's what kind of
Mm,
brings me
mm.
back. And then focusing on what I can control, because remember the circle was there
Yeah.
are things you mentioned, like the things that we can't control. So just focus on the ones that are uh,
Yeah.
within my sphere of influence. Like, I can
Yes.
still do the yoga, I can still go for the walk, I can still do, move my body or eat right things, whatever I can, so
Whatever.
that's the one which you can really focus on. And again, the same thing around the trust and have the faith, because as you were talking, like
Yeah.
what's the rooted part, the deeply rooted part is that, I think, and that's a strength, really, to recognize that, having faith is a strength. Strong faith obviously is a strength.
Yeah.
And I didn't really draw the storm so much, but I was sitting with that emotion of what the heart really wants, or what is there a gentle longing for in this
Mm-hmm.
moment, like, to hold, to be held, to connect.
Mm.
Also there's a longing for rest. So whatever,
Yes.
like, so I was just staying with that more of
Yeah. I
what's
gave
the
you
weather of
permission to
my
rest.
heart right now. I didn't really do the drawing as such. But
Yeah.
yeah,
The
this
rest
was
was
very good, the way you
perfect.
connected so many things. And I think I will stick this permission slip and then maybe add more to it. That's like wonderful to come back
Wonderful.
to.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Really good
Uh,
session.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, stay tender, stay soft, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.